Where did you get that kirtan from? Where did you find that one?
Sorry, Maharaj, I missed.
Yeah, where did you find that kirtan from? It
This
was
is
two.
New Vrindavan Maharaj 2013.
Yeah, I know that, but where do you find it?
YouTube Maharaj.
Okay.
So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I welcome all of you to His Holiness Chandramauli Swami daily class. And today Maharaj will continue on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, verse 10, chapter 44. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, with your permission, Maharaj, I will share the screen.
Yeah, where's all the devotees? There's nobody there.
Waking up, Maharaj, just waking up.
Waking up.
Your voice is very low. I don't know whether it's at my end or devotee. Can you hear?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, this is better, Maharaj. Sorry. But anybody else can confirm whether it's sound quality?
Yes, it's okay. Yes.
Yes, it's audible.
Sure. So over to you, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Itam Bhavena Kantito Bhagavan Bhagavatatmanahan Netam Bhavena Hi Param Prastam Arhanti Suryaha Surayaha. The great transcendentalists thus describe the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the pure devotees deserve to see more glorious things in transcendence. Beyond these features, the Lord is not only the creator and destroyer of the material manifestations of his different energies, he is more than a simple creator and destroyer, for there is his feature of Ananda, or pleasure feature. This pleasure feature of the Lord is understood by the pure devotees only and not by others. The impersonalists are satisfied simply by understanding the all-pervasive influence of the Lord. This is called Brahman realization. Greater than the impersonalists is the mystics who see the Lord situated in the heart as Paramatma, the partial representation of the Lord. But there are pure devotees who take part in direct pleasure, Ananda, potency of the Lord, by factual reciprocation of loving service. The Lord in his abode, called the Vaikuntha planets, which are eternal manifestations, always remains with his associates and enjoys transcendental loving service by his pure devotees and different transcendental humors. The pure devotees of the Lord thus undergo a practice of devotional service to the Lord during the manifestation of creation and take full advantage of the manifestation by qualifying themselves to enter into the kingdom of God. Bhagavad Gita 1855 confirms, Bhaktyamam avijananti avayaschasmi tatvataham tato mam tatvato gyatva visite taranantaram. By developing a pure devotional service, one can factually know the Lord as he is, and thus be trained in the bona fide service of the Lord, and be allowed to enter into the direct association of the Lord in so many capacities. The highest glorious association with the Lord is made possible in the planet of Goloka Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna enjoys himself with the gopis and his favorite animals, the Saravi cows. A description of this transcendental land of Krishna is given in the Brahma Samhita, which is considered by Lord Chaitanya to be the most authentic literature in this connection. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pucharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Astyatya Desatarne Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Titanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So there are different levels of understanding both the Lord and his activities. And there's different relationships on those different levels. The karmis, they pray to the Lord for material benefits. And they want something in this material world. So they pray, my dear Lord, give me my daily bread. God is giving bread to everyone. There's no need to pray for it, but they pray for material things. Give me a nice house, nice family arrangement, so many things in this world. That's the lowest form of worship of the Lord, in the sense that, at least from the positive point of view, there's some positivity in there because they go to the Lord for what they want. There's others who simply reject the Lord and don't even consider the Lord and try to fulfill their desires in a materialistic way. And then they usually gravitate down to the lower activities of material life, such as sinful activities. But then higher than the karmis are the gyanis. So they may worship the Lord by philosophical speculation on the knowledge of the Lord. And through the process of neti, they rule out that everything in this material world is the cause of suffering. And therefore they want to enter into the Lord by merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, or the actual body of the Lord. Two types of gyanis. One is a little higher. Those who want to merge into the body of the Lord are a little higher than those who want to merge into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. All they want is freedom from material suffering. They want some form of liberation, which causes them to not take part in any materialistic activities. They get a temporary state of existence, and after some time, they fall down from that state, like that. And then there's those who worship the Lord for understanding of the nature of how God is all-pervading, situated in everywhere throughout existence and within the spiritual realm, and in the hearts of all living entities. And so they worship him as Super Soul, the indwelling Paramatma feature of the Lord, which guides the living entity according to their desires. And so they're the yogis. And then you have the bhaktas, the devotees of the Lord. But in the category of devotees, there are those who are very interested in the creation nature of the Lord, how he creates everything, how he manifests the creation in different ways, how he destroys the creation. We heard that in previous verses, how he assumes different forms like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva for the sake of creation, maintenance, and destruction. And that's mentioned also in the Bhagavatam. But others who understand actually the nature of the Lord, they understand the nature of the Lord is Rasa Vaisai, that he's full of transcendental mellows, and he exchanges these mellows with his devotees in a mood of love based on a particular category relationship. And that can be found in the highest form, and that is in the, well, even before then, before I go into the Goloka, there is the Vaikuntha realm for those who worship the Lord in reverence. The Lord is the supreme power, supreme controller, supreme feature, creator, destroyer, everything. They engage in service of the Lord, and they offer everything to the Lord in devotion. And they attain to the Vaikuntha realm. Sometimes they worship a different incarnation, such as Ramchandra or Mishringadev, Vamanadev, and there's those who worship the Lord in his feature as Matsya, Korma, and also Kalki avatar. Different manifestations of the Lord people worship, and they actually attain mostly to the Vaikuntha realm. But then there's the highest, and it's mentioned here, the pure devotees. They take part in the direct pleasure of the Lord by reciprocating with the Lord in a particular mellow, such as friendship with the Lord, son of the Lord, or parent of the Lord, actually to accept the Lord as your son and worship him in that mood. And then also the highest and most complete and the most saturated with transcendental happiness is the ras of Madhurya, which is to worship the Lord as boyfriend and girlfriend without any wedlock. Of course, that Madhurya is divided into two called Parakiya ras and Swakiya ras. Swakiya means to be married to the Lord, and Parakiya means to have a loving relationship to the Lord in the mood of loving exchange, sweetness, but no marriage. It's called lawless love. It's the highest form of love. In the material world, it's considered to be abominable to be married and then have a lover on the side is considered to be cheating. It's considered to be sinful. But in the spiritual world, it's the highest because the Lord is the center. And the excitement of lawless love makes that love even more dynamic, more powerful, more sweeter. And that's the mood of the gopis. So here we're hearing about, and then of course, that's what's being emphasized here. And to find out about the nature of the Lord, here it's mentioned that Lord Chaitanya, he traveled to South India and he stopped at one Adikeshava temple. And in that Adikeshava temple, he found one scripture called the Brahma Samhita. He had that scripture copied, and then he took the copy back to his devotees in Navadvip Dham, and he said, this is the best of all scriptures, the Brahma Samhita, because it describes the spiritual world, describes Krishna, describes his relationship with his devotees in different mellows. It describes the different positions of the different living entities in the material world in relationship to serving him as cowherd boy and as parent and as lover. So Brahma Samhita is there. Devotees don't read Brahma Samhita too much. The only time we ever read Brahma Samhita is when we actually do an initiation. We do the initiation ceremony, we chant the verses from the Brahma Samhita. Chintamani Prakati Satmasu Kalpa Vriksham Laksa Vriteshu Virubir Avimalayantam Lakshman, what is it? Lakshmi Sarasya Satasam Samabravyamano Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That's verse number 29. But you see, if you go to the beginning of the Brahma Samhita, you'll see here, go to the very first and second verses. You go to the first one is Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Nadir Nadir Govinda Sarvakarna Karna. It establishes Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has a transcendental form that is full of knowledge and bliss and eternality. He is Anadir Adi Govinda, he is Govinda, and he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's no one equal to him, no one greater than him, and he is the cause of all causes, Sarva Karna Karnam. And so you go on to the next verse, and then it gets into the actual description of the spiritual world. So if you want to know what the spiritual world is like, read this. So the super excellent station of Krishna, which is known as Gokul, has thousands of petals and a coral like that of the lotus sprouted from its infinite aspect. The world of the leaves being the actual abode of Krishna. So the spiritual world is like a lotus flower with so many petals and so many realms within that gigantic lotus flower. Go down to the next verse, number 3. And then purports are full of descriptions. The world of that transcendental lotus is the realm of wherein Krishna dwells, in the hexagon figure, the abode of the indwelling, predominating aspect of, like a diamond, the central supportive figure of self-luminous Krishna stands as a transcendental source of all potence. The holy name, consisting of 18 transcendental, is manifested in a hexagonal figure with 6-fold divisions. So you see how intricate it is also. So here, Bhakti Siddhanta's purports really get into describing this in detail. You can go down to the next one. I don't want to get into the purports because they're so lengthy and they're also so detailed. Next verse. See how long that one is. That's just a purport. The world of the eternal realm of Gokul is the hexagon abode of Krishna. Its petals are the abode of the gopis, or parts and parcels of Krishna. They're most loving, devoted, and similar in essence. The petals shine brilliant like so many walls. The extended leaves of the lotus are like garden-like Dhamma, spiritual abode of Radhika, the most beloved of Krishna. So it goes on, and then it expands the description of the spiritual world more and more and more as you go into these verses and purports. So read that. Prabhupada said we should read it. It may be hard for you to understand, but still you will understand something, and you'll be amazed to know what the spiritual world is like. This is the first verse we usually chant when we do the prayers, which describes also the abode of the spiritual world. And it's surrounded by millions of purpose trees. These trees can fulfill all of your desires. Prabhupada would say, in this material world, if you go to a lemon tree, you get lemons. You go to an apple tree, you get apples. But you go to one of these purpose trees, you can get anything you ask for. It can fulfill all of your desires. And Krishna is served with great reverence with hundreds and thousands of gopis and Lakshmis. Gopis are also called Lakshmis because they're expanded from the original source of Lakshmi, which is Srimati Radharani. She is also the source of all the Lakshmis. She's also the source of all the queens in Dwarka. and all of the gopis in Vrindavan. This is a great, and then as you go down, you start to see the different realms of what we say, the different realms of existence within the material world, all the way down to the lowest realm. And after summarizing all of the different realms of existence and the practice on each of these realms, then Krishna summarizes the whole thing in the final verses. His Brahma Samhita is a treasure house of transcendental knowledge and sweetness, and with detailed explanations of the spiritual world and of the material world also. We get a little bit of understanding when we grow up about the different deities that we worship. And they're also mentioned here also. Ganesh is mentioned, Shiva's mentioned. It's all there in this Brahma Samhita. So Lord Chaitanya became so excited when he found this scripture that he had it copied and brought it back to his devotees and said, this is the best of all scriptures in describing pastimes and nature and abode of the Lord in the spiritual world. He also copied one other scripture, which was the Krishna Karnamrita by Bilvamangala Thakur, which is also deep and very sweet, describing the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan. So read those books. I mean, that's what they're for. They're available. They're part of the knowledge of transcendence, and they give you an insight of where you're going to go if you successfully engage in loving devotional service to the Lord. You have an idea what it's like. If you know a little bit about what is the destination, you become more eager to achieve that destination. So therefore, we should take time, read, discuss these scriptures. There is, if you want more knowledge in this, all of these verses, starting with verse number 1, going all the way through, I think it was given. There's only one person I know that actually tackled these verses and made it into a seminar, and that was His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami. In the year 1990, he did a seminar in Mayapur on these verses, and in 1991, he did the same seminar again in Vrindavan. Both of them covered the same topic, but I listened to both of them, and I find the one 1991 was more detailed and more, what we say, explaining things in greater, and it's really an interesting presentation. You might be able to find that on his website, his seminar 1990 and 1991 on the Brahma Samhita. So that way you don't have to read all of this and try to figure it out. You can hear from him, and then of course he gives an hour lecture on each verse with questions. Sometimes it goes over a little bit. And then the questions and answers are really quite interesting, because all of the attendants are all Prabhupada disciples. And the questions and answers are really, really quite deep and interesting. So I found that one of the most spiritually nourishing experiences I had. So we want to learn more about that realm of Krishna in the spiritual world. So it's there. Of course, you can't know everything, and you can't experience it until you actually go there. But you can learn a little bit more about it, which will inspire you to achieve it. You see how wonderful and how beautiful and how spiritually symmetrical it is. Everything is so nicely organized, and Krishna's the center. And here it says the pure devotees, that's what they're interested in. They're not interested in the other aspects of the absolute truth, his creative nature. We might find it, we discuss it sometimes because it's preliminary for us to understand him as the creator, in order to understand him as the supreme sweet personality of Vrindavan, who acts like an ordinary person in relationship with his friends, with his parents, with his lovers. But that cannot be understood simply by reading about it. It has to be realized through the process of pure devotional service. So the pure devotees, when Prabhupada talks about pure devotees, he means those who are purely executing devotional service. They want only the purest of the pure, and that is the highest, Goloka Vrindavan. And Krishna, and then you find about Krishna, what is he like? His favorite animals is the cows, but a Sarabi cow. You find out what his mother feeds him, what he likes to eat. So many things to learn about Krishna. He's a person. He has qualities, he has activities, he has desires, everything is there. There they are, Brahma Samhita, year 1991, MP3. And there's the Vrindavan lectures, starting with, how many lectures are there? I forgot. Well, there they are. Anyway, you can see the verses. He does verse 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, 10, 11 through 17, 19 through 21, and 18 through 28. And you can see they're all about 1 hour, and just a little bit over or a little bit under 1 hour. Interesting. If you listen to that, then you won't have any questions about what is the wonderful nature of the spiritual world and the wonderful nature of Krishna. Okay, so we can open up for questions.
Thank you, Maharaj, for really important class and also highlighting this 1991 lectures. I think good read for future. So very nice. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any questions, comments, realization, I request everybody to raise your hand. And also, if you can't, then you can type in chat window and I will read on your behalf. Again, my humble request, very few devotees are on camera. If you can please switch on your camera, video camera, then it will be good. We have 35 devotees online, so maybe at least 34 cameras to be on, so that will be better. Yes.
We have Sagar, who's got a question.
Yes, Anand Sagar Jagannath Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandot Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, you talked about Parikya Ras and Swakya Ras, Maharaj. So, would you be able to give some examples, Maharaj, for Parikya Ras and Swakya Ras?
Parikya Ras is Krishna's relationship with the gopis. The gopis apparently have some husband, but they're always escaping from their husband so they can go and have a relationship with Krishna or serve Krishna in a loving mood. That is called Parikya Ras. Swakya means married. And also, we see in Vaikuntha, Krishna he has his wife, and that is Lakshmi Devi. So that is Swakya, actually. Not exactly, because she is Dasi. She is not in the mood of Madhurya, she's in the mood of Dasi, servant. And it's interesting because there's a lot to be explained in that connection. Just like, actually, all of the gopis are actually married to Krishna. But for the sake of excited love, they take on husbands. And they look for opportunities to hide from their husbands, escape from their husbands, to be with Krishna. Okay. Just like Radharani, her husband is, what's his name? Can't forget.
Abhimanyu.
Mm.
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu, yeah. So Abhimanyu is the son of Jatila, and Jatila is the mother-in-law of Radharani. And Jatila is always making sure that Krishna doesn't come and try to be with Radharani. So one time Krishna took the form of Abhimanyu and came as Abhimanyu to the home of where Radharani was. Jatila saw, she was thinking that's my son, but actually it was Krishna in disguise. He took that form. And then when Krishna was there, after some time, the real Abhimanyu came. And then Krishna said, in the form of Abhimanyu, he said, there's Krishna, he's disguised as me. And Jatila came out and she started beating her son. So it makes love more fun. When there's what do you call it? Intrigue and various types of emotions attached to a loving relationship, and it heightens the expression of love and makes it more fun and more, what we say, intimate. Radharani gets angry at Krishna, and Krishna likes that. If your wife gets angry at you, you don't like it. So because we're not Krishna, that's fine. If Krishna hides from the gopis can't find him, and they become lost in love trying to find Krishna, but Krishna is hiding from them. But their love increases. They don't give up because they can't find Krishna. In the material world, it's not the same. If somebody has a loving relationship and there's some separation, that love may continue for a while, but if the separation continues too long, then people give up their relationship and go for somebody else. Because, what about me? So in the material world, you can't have these. Therefore, lawless love in the material world is sinful. And married is what is the standard for boy-girl relationship. But in the spiritual world, there is also, Krishna gets married. He actually marries. There's one ceremony where he marries Lalita. Yeah, that's there. And if you read Krishna's pastimes, there's so many pastimes that we don't even know about. These are the works of the Goswamis. Many of their works describe Krishna's leelas. But Krishna also gets married sometimes. And at the end of Gopal Champu, there's a whole ceremony where Krishna marries all of the gopis. That's mentioned by Jiva Goswami. Because Jiva Goswami spoke, if you want more information about Swakiya Ras, you have to read Jiva Goswami. Because he spoke a little bit more about Swakiya Ras than any of the other acharyas. But for the sake of understanding what Swakiya Ras is, but generally, Krishna is in the mood of Parakiya Ras. Sometimes Krishna gets married. It says that all women within creation are actually married to Krishna, but they have some husband. But they don't realize that Krishna is their real husband because their husband can't really satisfy them completely, only Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah. So stay married.
Thank you,
So,
Prabhu. Shridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
yeah.
Thank you, Vrindavanath. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. As you were reading out these beautiful verses of Brahma Samhita, I was thinking how beautiful, how fantastic, how wonderful. And I was thinking, but for Srila Prabhupada's mercy and your mercy, we would never even know all this knowledge. We would never even understand. And if someone had to just tell us, we would think it's just some story, it's just some someone's fantasy. We wouldn't even believe that there is this beautiful spiritual world which is just we have lost it, and here we are struggling to go back to that beautiful spiritual world. So thank you so much for giving us these verses. I will definitely take some time and read all these beautiful verses. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
And in the what was it, third canto of Bhagavatam, you find a description of the Vaikuntha realm also. There's a whole series of verses, actually chapters, describing what the Vaikuntha residents like that, and the activities in Vaikuntha also, which is the spiritual world also. But we don't read, and that's the problem. We need to read more. We should know everything is available about devotional service, especially about our relationship with Krishna. And even more important is of our relationship with Krishna is, what is Krishna like? What does he like to do? Why does he do what he does? To figure out, or not to figure out, but to understand Krishna. It's a real, what we say, episode, a journey into something unlimited and something wonderful. What is the nature of God? Other religions, they have a conception of God, but they don't know anything about him. They think he's a scorekeeper. That's all. Yeah, chapter 15, description of the kingdom of God. Thank you. There it is in the third canto. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
So
Sorry. Sorry.
Prabhupada didn't hold back. Parikshit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept our humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Actually, when you were commenting on Jiva Goswami's, I think Gopal Champu, you actually partly answered the questions that I intended to ask, but still I'll ask it in a different way. So at first I thought in the Swakiya Ras, the relationship, all that we hear in the scriptures was the 16,108 queens. We know they were definitely married to Krishna. So they were in the Swakiya Ras. And then we know about the gopis in the Parakiya Ras. But then you said that Diva Goswami describes sometimes Krishna marries the gopis too. You give an example of it?
Yeah, you can read Gopal Champu.
Yeah.
Actually,
So then
the queens of Vrindavan are actually the gopis of Vrindavan, but they took birth as queens so they could have a relationship with Krishna in Dwarka when Krishna was gone for so long. That's mentioned in I think Venugopal by. It's in the Goswami literature, but it's nicely explained by Shiva Ram Maharaj in his Vrindavan series. Because Radharani became Satyabhama, Chandravali became Rukmini, and the different queens became one of the prominent. The different queens were different gopis of Vrindavan.
So then my question is, because my mind is now reeling about this. So Krishna sometimes marries the gopis. Then there are queens that are in the Swakiya Ras. So then is there a situation where Krishna actually has queens, then he has gopis that he's married to, but at the same time they're girlfriends also? Can both of them happen at the same time?
Why
The
not?
weird, eh? Only Krishna can do that.
God can do all of these things.
Okay.
But every living entity is part of Krishna anyway. Nobody's ever separated from Krishna anyway. But they
That's true.
manifest, and in those forms, the relationship is described according to the forms.
Mm, mm. Okay. It's called Leave It to Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Football Temple is really a gigantic festival of transcendental happiness. If you read that book, it's so wonderful.
Gopa Champu?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's thick. You have a hard time carrying it. It's
Mhm. I'll look for it.
It's a very Jiva Goswami. He's yeah.
Mm. All right. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this the right book, Maharaj? This Gopal Champu, or is this some?
Yeah, it depends. Let's see. Edited by Purna Pragna Das and Kushakratna Das. Yes, they are in within ISKCON, both of them.
Okay.
Especially Kushakrata, he's an authority on these leelas. Gopal Champo, yeah, this is it.
Rasa Sundari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, and all glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Maharaj, I recently read that the transcendental pastimes of Krishna with, Lord Krishna with gopis, and especially the gopis are released by the liberated souls. So and also in several purports, I remember that Prabhupada, Prabhupada writes that even to get to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to first understand the real nature of Krishna and his supremacy. So how do you so recently, I started reading Tava Katamrit, which is from His Holiness Shiva Ramaswamy Maharaj. So do you think for people like me, can I read such books, or what should be my mood to read such books? Because it elaborately describes pastimes of Krishna with gopis. I wasn't just sure if neophytes like me are ready to read such pastimes, although we are interested. So I just thought I wanted to understand what should be my mood, or what should be my understanding when I'm reading it.
Let me answer your question. Now, I wouldn't start with Tavakatamrita. You look on the book and it says 14, right? On the jacket it says 14, right? That means that's 14 books in the series. That book came out recently because it was written about 20 years ago. But Shivaram Maharaj put it aside and worked on other things. And then devotees discovered it this year. And then it was printed. And so the number 14 indicates a series. So the Vrindavan series, I'd say you should start with the Vrindavan series instead, not start with Tavakatamrita. That's pretty deep. I finished it this year. It's really sweet. But I've read all of the other books first. Start with the Vrindavan. I forgot what is the first one. He sells them in blocks too. In other words, there's Venugopal, there's Napureham, there is Bhakti, what is it? Bhakti Chintamani, Sudha Bhakti Chintamani. That's another one in this series. And that one gives you a lot about tattva, because Shivaram Maharaj is expert at presenting the Leelas surrounded by the philosophy, and not just books on Leelas. That particular one, Tabakatamrita, you're reading is a lot of Leela. It's a lot of Leela, and it's nice, sweet. I mean, but I would do it in the series. Start with book number 1. Just go on his website. You can order the books. One lady came to me and she said, I've been reading all of Prabhupada's books. I want something more, something that I can really go deeper into. So I said, yeah, you read Shiva Ramanujan's books. Let's see. Let's see, you'll have, Krishna Sangati, Naparayam, Sankalpa Komodi, that's number 7. Navaraja Mahima, that's another set completely. Yeah. So there is Sudha Bhakti Chintamani, Venu Gita. Yeah. So, I have all of his books. And then, of course, Sarva Hridayam Mayam, that's from Bhagavatam. Spontaneous Devotional Service, Varnashram, Damodar Leela, Damodar Janani. These are all fantastic. So when I connected this lady with these books, and she's having a field day now. But I would suggest you read Prabhupada's books along with his books.
Sure, Maharaj.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Because you need tattva. If you don't get the tattva with the Leela, you won't understand. You'll just think it's nice stories.
Sure, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Even if you accepted Krishna's Leela, you won't be able to understand. You have to go through tattva. You have to go through. As you said, the first 9 cantos establishes the supremacy of Krishna. And then the 10th canto opens up the door to Vrindavan. So unless we have that clear understanding that Krishna is the original supreme manifestation of creation in all aspects of its existence, beginning, middle, and end. If you go to, we just finished it in the 9th chapter of this 2nd canto. The essence of tattva is written in 4 verses. If you go to the 2nd canto, 9th chapter, verse number 33. This is tattva in condensed form. And this is these are called the Chatur-sloki verses. They're also called the nutshell verses of the Bhagavatam. Like that. So these 4 verses. In the Krishna speaking. So someone read.
Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead.
So Krishna sums everything up there, but I'm there before, during, and after all of existence. And he is the source. You can go on to the next verse, 34. This one is a key verse.
O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, it is, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness.
We just went through these verses a couple months ago. And so he's talking about the illusionary energy, the Maya energy, which is the manifestation of his energy for maintaining the material energy. It has reality, but it only in relationship to Krishna. If it's separate, it's just a phenomena. It's a reflection of the reality. And just like you see, sometimes you see some light reflected in the darkness, but it's only a reflection, because in the darkness, there's no light. So in the material world, there is no reality. There is only a reflection of reality, and that is the material energy. Next verse. You can ask questions based on these verses. Okay.
O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time, I am outside of everything.
Yeah. So Krishna is within and without simultaneously. And the last one?
A person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly.
So after speaking these three verses, he sums it up by saying, one must search this knowledge in all circumstances, in all places, and in all time elements, both indirectly, I mean spiritual, and I mean material, and directly spiritual. So these four verses sum up the essence of all spiritual knowledge. So if you go deeper, you can get the commentaries, but the acharyas, they'll explain these things in different ways. And these verses also, the purports, some of these purports are 6-7 pages on these verses. They're really long. So this is the essence of philosophy right here. So if you have a working knowledge of this philosophy, then you can begin to understand Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Otherwise, it'll remain just some story.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, Parijata. How's your health? Is it getting better?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I actually met with an accident. My knee was all scraped and few layers were like gone. This was a few days ago, but the ointment that you gave me, if you remember, that really helped me. It's almost 90% fixed. It's 90% healed. That worked like a miracle for me. I did not use any other ointment, nothing.
Yeah,
That was really a blessing, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
yeah, that's why I gave you the whole can.
Yes, Maharaj. How'd you know? Gurudev.
Well,
Okay,
you know,
so
I'm glad you.
I'll send you the picture of that thing, how it was then and how it is now. It's just healed. 90%. It's healed. It worked like a miracle for me. So thank you so much for
Let
that.
me get into a little advertising before you speak. Anybody, if you get any cuts, bruises, scrapes, or
Yes,
any injury, just
it's
go out.
calendula salve. Calendula salve. And yes, cowgirl herbs. Maybe I can send the link.
Yeah, you can get it from the one devotee called Dweet Bucha. If you really want to know more about it, what's her name? Is she online today? Uh, Srimati, she bought me the cans when she ordered.
They're
So
based in Texas, I believe.
no, it's in New Orleans. New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
But stayed over.
Yeah, but it's really good. It's really good. I can tell. I can vouch for it. It's really good. It actually
Yes.
works. Better than anything I've ever used.
I have the same, I carry it with me when I go everywhere, just in case.
It's really nice. Thank you. So my question was based on today's verse, Maharaj, and also I was taking down the notes from the previous verse and now this verse. So I just noted everything down. So this today's verse and generally, is it suggested that realization of Bhagavan depends on the feeling, the bhava, than on the jnana? I mean, like the knowledge.
Yeah, the knowledge is foundational to move you towards that, towards the experience. Yeah. But the bhava is the essence. Yeah.
Sometimes people don't have that bhava. For examples, we meet these people who are not from the bhakti movement. They have their interpretation of Lord Krishna, and they feel that, okay, this is jnana yoga, this is karma yoga, we're going to attain Krishna through this pathway. So Krishna does suggest it's one way, but devotional service and devotion is the highest. So what happens with such people? Do they also get to be on the same platform after they leave body?
What is the verse from the Bhagavatam?
Mm-hmm.
Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Sabhati. That the absolute truth is divided into three aspects of itself: Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization. But Brahman is partial. Paramatma is still partial, but better than Brahman or more than Brahman. And Vedanti Katat Bhat Vidas Tadvam Gyanama Vyam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavati. So the absolute truth is one, but there's three levels of realization.
Okay.
That,
So,
just like in school, you're learning a subject matter, but there may be different levels of that same subject matter. For instance, mathematics. There's general math, and then there's algebra, there's calculus, there's trigonometry, all within the category of math. But one is more advanced than the other.
okay. So, this is just a comparison. This is for my own knowledge. So, the previous verse suggests how Lord manifests, maintains, and sustains through various energies, incarnations. And this verse concludes that such descriptions and these things are meaningful only when heard in the mood of devotion. Otherwise, great saints and knowledgeable person and the scholars remain, bewildered.
Yeah, they'll philosophically speculate and come up with their own conclusions based on what they hear, what they understand. But
All
if it's
right.
done in devotion, then it's complete, because Krishna says, Bhakti Mama Vijananti, only by devotion can you actually understand.
Okay.
Scholars, academics, various types of philosophers speculate on the nature of the absolute truth, and they come with different conclusions. Some of them are actually accurate, but they can't enter into the mood because they don't do a devotional service. Therefore,
Okay.
the knowledge is just gyan. It's
Hmm.
not vigyan.
Oh,
It's theoretical. It's not realized knowledge. Only by bhakti can you get realized knowledge.
so what do we do to get the feeling? For some people, it doesn't come easy.
No,
How to get
it's
the bhava?
part of the process of bhakti. And as you go through the different stages of bhakti, after you get through the anartha nivritti stage, you become fixed in devotional service. And you start focusing a little bit more on the nature of Krishna in his different leelas and incarnations. Then you gravitate towards one aspect of him. Lord Chaitanya is teaching us to move towards Krishna. Some go to the Supreme Lord in different manifestations in the Vaikuntha realm. There are devotees of Ram, the Sringadev. There are devotees of different incarnations. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, and we follow the process of Lord Chaitanya. And the essence of that process is the chanting of the holy name. And perfecting one's chanting, where one frees themselves from all of material desires and actually awakens their attraction to Krishna through the process of the holy name. The holy name is actually what carries you all the way up from the beginning stages, all the way up to the perfectional stage. Everything's in the name.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. And then when you get to the stage of Ruchi, which is one step above Nishta, then you can start to aspire for practicing Raganuga sadhana. And we were just looking at the listings of the books of Shiva Ram Maharaj, and there was one book in there, further delineations on Raganuga sadhana or Raganuga bhakti. We're meant to come to that stage of spontaneous attraction to Krishna. If we don't, we will never complete the process of bhakti. Rules and regulations are just to keep you from being affected by the external energy. The Awakening of Spontaneous Devotional Service. That book is really fantastic. But then there's another one, it's called Further Awakening of Spontaneous Devotional Service. He did two versions of the same one. So yeah. And this, I mean, all of the knowledge that he's writing is in Prabhupada's books, but it's put in different places. He's taking this Goswami's points and probably did the same thing. And he's putting it in a very direct way within the particular category of spontaneous devotional service. Because bhakti is spontaneous, love is spontaneous. Nobody has, to someone who is attracted to something or someone, they don't need rules and regulations to help them in their attraction. The attraction is natural. The rules and regulations keep you from falling into the material energy. Yeah, the Further Awakening of Spontaneous Devotion. Beautiful book. And then there's one chapter called Spontaneous Devotional Service in ISKCON. He highlights in a very exclusive way okay. All right. Anything else?
Pavani?
Hey, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All grace to Srila Prabhupada and you. Maharaj, I was hearing like the pastime of Jagai and Madari yesterday in the lecture, and I just got a question that which offense is more like more stronger, the mind offense or the offense you can like make like in front of them?
There's no offense in the mind.
No, like sometimes we think bad about others and sometimes like offense like
But there's
behind them.
there's no reaction for that. Unless you speak about it or unless you carry it out. Then you get the negative reaction. But if it comes into the mind, you should dismiss it as fast as it comes in. That way it doesn't grow. Yeah, okay, since we're very philosophical today, turn to the first canto, 18th chapter, verse number 7. 1:18:7. And this is clear. I mean, you can't get a clearer statement than this. Okay, keep going down to the page. So we'll start reading at the very beginning. The age of Kali.
The age of Kali is called the fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in an awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given them some special facilities to them. So, by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of sinful act until the act is actually performed. In other areas, simply by thinking of performing a sinful act, one used to become a victim of the act. On the contrary, a living being in this age is awarded with the results of pious acts simply by thinking of them. Maharaj Parikshit, being the most learned and experienced king by the grace of the Lord, was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of Kali because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act.
Okay, you got, okay. So the point is there. Unless you carry out the act, there's no reaction for this, for a sinful thought. But you'll get credit for good thoughts. That's as to say, the Lord has given some special facility to the living entities in this age, and that's it. Because the age is so fallen that if we think about bad things, and the age is so permeated with sinful activities that's all in the atmosphere. And so one will be victimized in the mind simply by being in certain atmospheres. So, but because the age is so fallen and people are so easily victimized, the Lord says, all right, I'll give you a special feature. Don't carry it out, and then you don't get the reactions. But one should be aware that if you think about it, it can grow and it can turn into speech or some activity itself. So one has to be aware of that and kick out any sinful or wrong thoughts that come in the mind. Check and see what level it's at. We don't want to overcharge it. Hmm? 78. 78? Yeah. Keep going. Go to 90. Okay?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you so much.
Perfect answer to your question.
So, Hare Krishna, dear devotee, if you have any questions, comments, then Maharaj, as of now, I don't have any question. Parikshit Prabhu is asking what is the reference for this text?
Yeah, the text of Maharaj was talking about the mental. If you don't the mentally, when you sin, it doesn't affect you, but you have to be careful not to keep those things. What is it affect?
Canto 1, chapter 18, verse number 7.
1:18:7. All right, thank you very much.
Sridevi, you had another question?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, if I may, I was sort of hesitant to ask, but I'll ask anyway. We hear every day how Krishna is all attractive and how wonderful he is and how our real home is with him. But why do we still get attracted to the petty things of this world then?
I don't know. Why do you? I don't know. I can't figure it out either. Because you might say, because we have been associating with this energy from millions of lives, due to that association, there is still the residue of attachment due to previous association. It's called constitutional and conditional. Your conditioned nature is your material nature. Your constitutional nature is your spiritual nature. But your conditioned nature is very strong due to association with the material energy. Maya the vase, kacho base, kacho ho bubu dubai. Life after life in different material situations. Karanam guna sangosyo sarasa joni janmasu. Sometimes higher planets, sometimes middle planets, sometimes lower planets. We can't trace out, nor should we even try to trace out, our existence in this material world. But we know that to come to the human form of life, you have to go through all the other species to reach the human form. So our conditioned nature is very, very compounded. And to cut through that and come to your pure spiritual essence, it requires determination in devotional service. Determination helps you fix your mind on the goal without becoming diverted towards anything else. Another book that helps to get to that is, of course, there's one particular pastime, the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj in the 4th canto. How determined he was to achieve his goal. Although it was material, still his determination was, we see, unbreakable. Now, in Shivaram Maharaj's book, Sankalpa Kumudi, he talks about setting short-term goals, which helps to establish long-term goals. For instance, my goal is to perfect my chanting. So you focus on that, and you become determined to increase the quality of your chanting, and you work on your chanting, you chant more. You put so much in, and then you see after some time, you're starting to develop a taste for chanting. So that's a short-term goal. But it leads to the long-term goal, which is Prema Pumarta Mahan, love of God. I want to read and understand Srimad Bhagavatam, so I make it a point to organize my day around learning Bhagavatam, through going through study courses, through reading, to coming online in these classes. All this helps to enhance that desire. So we make short-term goals. I will not eat anything but Krishna Prasadam. So you make that a vow. And when you're faced with other opportunities to take food that is not, you stick to your vow because you want to achieve that perfection in accepting what we say transcendental food stuff. So we do that in life. We make a lot of short-term goals. We can do that in this. So that book, Sankalpa Kumudi, gives you 4 principles. You can read it in the back of the book. If you can, I don't know if you can see the back of that book. It's there in Shiva Ramaj's book, Sankalpa Kumudi. And then on the back, he gives the 4 principles by which he put the book together. It's interesting. See if you can find it. If you can find the back cover of that book too, would be it. But you might find it in the description of the book also. So that book is very, that's number 7 in the series. Rasa Sundari was talking about reading. Well, that's book number 7. So if you read that Vrindavan series in sequence, then you really gradually go to the higher and higher understandings of coming to Krishna and Vrindavan and all of the details that come with his pastimes.
I found the 4 points, Guru Maharaj. It's on this page. Maharaj's blservices.com. If you like, I can share the screen.
Read nice and slowly, clearly.
Oh, okay. Sankalpa Kaumudi, a moonbeam on determination, casts a unique light on 4 aspects of sadhana bhakti that arise from the pages of Brihad Bhagavat Amrita. Sankalpa, the determination that enables progress through the stages of devotional service. Ekagrata, the careful attention needed for each successful sankalpa. Bhav seva, the underlying mood of a sankalpa corresponding to the mood of Vraja Bhakti. And lastly, kripa, the divine grace by which practice finally transforms to ecstasy. Sankalpa Kaumudi is an attempt to elaborate on these 4 themes.
Okay. So determination is also the feature of the execution of those 4 principles. How to develop and how to apply determination in your. It's a long book. It's about 700 pages. But you know, the winter time is coming up. Less travel, more time for reading. Okay. Thank you. That was nice.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
So Maharaj, I don't have any questions on the chat right now. Any
Okay.
devotee, any last question before we close?
You can stop here. There's nothing.
Yeah, so with your permission, Maharaj will stop the session. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti
Jai.
Vaishnav Vrind ki jai.
Thank you, Guru.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm not
Maharaj.
sure. Tomorrow is my last day in the Govardhan Yatra. Sure whether I'll be online or not tomorrow, but it's like that every day. Well, we've been fortunate to be able to do these programs during this Yatra. So it's a good chance I'll be here tomorrow. I'm not sure. We want to finish these last 5 or 6 verses, and because in the last few verses, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam are highlighted really nicely in these last few verses. Really, with emphasis. Okay.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, I go.
You're in Govardhan right now? You're in Govardhan right now?
And at the foot of Giriraj, yes.
Vibhul, wow. That's wonderful. Thank you.
To be here is really transcendently enlivening.
Giriraj Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you
You know,
for
we met one devotee from Columbus who met us on the road. Amrita Nam was with her little son and myself. And he said, you know, I'm going to teach you a mantra. And he said, Na chinta na bhai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. It means no anxiety, no fear, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai.
It's like that.
Hare
Giriraj Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Guru Maharaj, I really totally loved staying at the foothills of Giriraj. So when it was the last day, it was such a separation. I can't tell you that I didn't wanted to leave the place. So I can totally understand. I went to Govardhan for the first time in the yatra, and this was a totally undescribable feeling. How I felt so close to Giriraj. It was wonderful, Guru Maharaj.
She asked for a little milk for her little son. The hotel boy would bring that milk every day. And then after some time, she went down to offer some money, saying, you know, I'm taking milk. And he said, what? No, no, milk is free. We don't charge for milk here. What a, you know, abundance of milk and milk products that he's like, no, 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 it's like, you know, like water. We don't charge for milk here. Just imagine getting beautiful, pure Ahimsa milk like that. It was just, my heart just melted when she told me that.
Yeah. Come here and get some milk.
Haribol! Permanently.
milk sweets, kheer, rasmalai, rasgulla, coffee, sandesh, yogurt, condensed
God,
milk.
this is good.
Become very, very fat and happy. What did Krishna? Krishna didn't steal paradas. He stole butter. He didn't steal, you know, rajma or chole. He stole butter. Krishna likes milk products. See, that's another feature of Krishna. You see what he likes. Anything that comes from the cow is very dear to Krishna. Because cows are very dear to Krishna.
What's the throat, Guru Maharaj? Throat? Chest? How's your cough?
Cough?
Yes. Did you take Sitoplanichurn?
No. Because I didn't ask for it. You just kind of delivered it to me and said, this is good for you. And I wasn't sure whether you're
It really helps. Or give it to someone who's in trouble. I mean, like, they'll be helped by it.
I still have the medicine that was given to me from the previous situation. So I'm still
okay.
Yeah, around with that. Okay, thank you. And we'll see you all hopefully tomorrow. If not, we'll definitely be back the day after, that's for sure. But let's see, I might be there tomorrow. I hope so, because I really like the last verses in the second canon. It's just really power-packed. Okay. Guru Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
Hari.
Haribol.
Krishna.
Giri Raj Maharaj.